Darren Michaels? My name's Conley. I'm captain of the local police department.
Are you gonna arrest me?
No, we're not. But we need to talk to you. May I come in?
Sure. So,
You work in Fuller's photo studio, is that right?
not anymore. Not since yesterday.
Not anymore. Why?
The work atmosphere. I quit.
Quit? Or were you thrown out? Was there an argument?
Why? Has something happened to Fuller? Please say yes.
Well, yes.
Have you arrested him? Or did someone beat him up in a dark alley?
Would you be happy about that?
Only if it was painful.
He's dead. He was stabbed to death in the early hours of the morning. We're still counting the wounds. Can you tell us anything about that?
No. Nothing you'd find fitting.
Someone must have been pretty angry with old Mr. Fuller. How angry were you with him, Darren?
So angry that I don't feel sorry that he's dead. But I've got nothing to do with it. Look, I saw him for the last time yesterday afternoon when he threw me out.
And you haven't been in the store since then?
No.
Darren, we found your fingerprints.
Of course, I worked there.
On the safe. Was that part of your job?
Look, what do you want?
Where were you last night?
I was in Biba's diner with a friend.
Correct. Angelina Morgan. You haven't known her very long, have you?
Do you have to be engaged if you want to go out with a woman in this town?
Very funny. Only if you did know her better, you might be able to explain why Miss Morgan murdered Mr. Fuller.
What?
She was practically caught red-handed.
Practically?
She was standing over Mr. Fuller's corpse, covered in blood. The whole thing could have only been clearer if we had a notarized, certified video of the murder.
That's crazy. Perhaps she found Fuller dead and wanted to help him.
That's what she claims, too. And what was she doing in Fuller's store in the middle of the night?
What do I know? Ask her.
We have. She says she was told to go there by a man on the phone.
By the guy following her.
Correct, by a stranger. That's why I'm here. Miss Morgan says that you told her about her pursuer.
Yeah, absolutely. And the hotel owner saw him too.
I've already been to see him. He confirmed that someone was asking after Miss Morgan, but he couldn't give us a proper description. Did you get a proper look at the man?
I did. His eyes are close together, and...
Not here. Come down to the station. We can do a photo fit there.
What about Angelina?
Yeah. Well, let's see what the guy you saw has to say about all this.
Give me a break. If he was the one who called, he's not gonna admit it.
If there was a call in the first place. Please, come as soon as possible. We need that photo fit.
No, that's not him. The hairline was higher.
Like that, perhaps?
No, it was more... Can't you just let me have a go at it?
Sure. Look, here are the various chin shapes and eyebrows and so on.
Yeah, I was watching you. I get the idea, okay?
You can change things using the arrows. When you're happy with it, click on save.
All right, I've got it.
Okay. Let me know when you're finished.
Okay. The quicker the police find this guy, the quicker I can help Angelina. What did he look like again?
So?
That's him. The guy that followed me and Angelina looked like that.
I don't know him. Perhaps a tourist. You also said he spoke with an accent.
Exactly. What now?
We'll post the pictures around town and invite the gentleman in for a talk.
And Angelina?
Yes, well, she's...
Oh, Angelina!
Darren! It wasn't me! You've got to get me out of here. They want to pin this on me!
I know, but we'll get this sorted out.
They want to charge me this afternoon! You've got to somehow...
Come on, Miss Morgan.
Darren!
I'll get you out of here. I'll think of something.
Come on, Darren.
Leave me alone. I'm gonna find out what's going on here. She is innocent. What was her motive?
That's the thing. We don't know.
Look, others had a motive. Fuller blackmailed people.
Is that so?
Mrs. Biba from the diner, she paid Fuller. Lots of money.
How do you know that?
Is that important? She had a motive. And what about that guy? He was at Fuller's yesterday.
We didn't find any money in Fuller's store, and this gentleman's a witness. Nothing else. As far as the alleged blackmailing is concerned, have you any evidence?
Evidence? Ask Mrs. Biba.
And she's gonna tell us if she was blackmailed by Fuller?
She put her under pressure.
Based on your speculation? No, that's not enough. We need evidence. Or at least something that would suggest blackmail before we can move on it. And until then, our only suspect is over there behind bars.
Fine, then I'll get a hold of the evidence. Where do I start? I need evidence that Fuller was a blackmailer. But what did he blackmail Mrs. Biba with? And was it just her or were there others? I bet the secret door in his basement has something to do with it. But how do I open it? Has Fuller still got the key on him? I've got to find out. I think that the picture has turned out very well. What piss-awful weather. Suppose it's fitting somehow. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Michaels. What can I do for you?
How's my mother today?
No change. Her vital signs are all okay, but she is still comatose like before.
So, we can only wait.
It looks that way.
Has the guy who inquired about my mother been here again?
No, at least not on my shift.
And please, can you tell the other nurses that they should keep an eye out for this guy? The police are looking for him.
I know. The police faxed through a photo-fit picture.
Good. You heard what happened to Fuller?
Oh, yes. Beatrix told me. They brought him in here this morning, covered in blood.
Did you know Fuller?
Not personally.
What do you mean by that?
I'd heard of him. Okay, listen. I'll tell you. As a woman, it wasn't an especially good idea to have your picture taken by him.
Why not?
He was a creep. And was not supposed to be able to keep his hands to himself. That sort of thing gets around, of course.
Thanks very much for the information.
No problem.
There's a delivery note for liquid soap.
Excuse me. This area is only for staff. You're not allowed in there.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't know that. I've got to distract the nurse somehow. She won't let me in there. Please get better, Mom. Get well and tell me the truth about the accident. I need to know. There are a few cables hanging down the side of the unit, mostly to the sensors attached to my mother. There are a few cables hanging down the side of the unit, mostly to the sensors attached to my mother. The machine only monitors my mom's vital functions, so it doesn't matter if I loosen a cable here. Perhaps the delivery note will be of use. I'll take it.
Yes.
Hello.
Are you delivering something?
Yes.
Delivery note. Whatever.
I'll be off then.
Hey, not so fast. What you delivering then?
Liquid soap?
So, where is it?
Huh?
Where is the package?
Oh, what a klutz. I left it in the car.
Man, unbelievable. In my day, I would have never gotten away with that kind of thing.
Oh, no. Does that mean I'll never be able to become a security guy now? I'll get the box. I think that the picture has turned out very well. Losing the trash, huh? It's worth a try. Oh, man, that stinks. So, what have we got here? A trash bag with leftovers. Packaging. Paper towel. Hey, some torn up pieces of paper. That really might be interesting. Those are the paper snippets out of the trash can at the diner. Let's see if I can put them back together. It's a letter from Fuller to Mrs. Biber. Maybe even the one I stuck in her hand yesterday? Dearest Claire, I'm a little disappointed that you don't
come to visit me anymore. Don't you miss our time together at all? All the fun we had? Take a look at the pictures. You look so happy and contented. Don't you think so too? I tell you, that was some kind of fun we had too. And you just can't bring yourself to admit it. Are you worried about it getting out? Well, it would be too embarrassing, wouldn't it? A married businesswoman has to watch her reputation. What would the folks say? What would your husband do with you? It would be a scandal. But I'll protect you from it. Me and 15 Ben Franklin stand between you and shame. I'll expect the, bonus this evening. Bring it to me, and I'll enjoy myself in the pictures for a few more weeks. F.
That's at least evidence that Fuller was blackmailing Mrs. Biber. 15 Ben Franklins is $1,500. But is that going to be enough for the cops? I'm going to ask her what he was blackmailing her with. If they ask her, Biber will deny everything. I've got to find out what Fuller was using to blackmail her. I'm sure that the answer is behind that secret door. Sorry, Mrs. Biber?
One moment.
So where was your husband last night?
Yeah, and what's that got to do with you?
What's that with him and Fuller?
I'm asking you.
What can you tell me about Bedford?
I grew up here. I guess I always wanted to move away from here.
But, well, that never happened.
I met my husband when I was 17. And we opened the diner here. It was a wonderful time.
Ah, yes.
I couldn't have known then that he was so... that he... I have to get back to work. You want anything else?
This weird guy, the one who bumped into me yesterday, have you seen him again?
The guy from yesterday? Sure, I think I'd remember him.
This guy.
Oh, him. Nope. I haven't seen him again since he was in here questioning me.
What did he want?
He was asking after Miss... so-and-so.
Miss Angelina Morgan?
Could be.
And you haven't seen him again?
Nope.
Will you tell me if you do?
Maybe.
So friendly. What's happened to your eye? Let me guess. You fell down the stairs.
Yes.
And your husband was standing at the bottom doing his boxing training.
What's this got to do with you?
I just don't understand it. How often does this happen?
Not often. Just sometimes.
Maybe you ought to move to a bungalow without stairs.
Yeah, you think you can give me advice? You married?
You trade in your pride when you do that?
You've never been in love. If you had, you'd never ask that. Okay, what do you want to drink?
Is it too early for a whiskey? What do you think? Mrs. Biber?
Yeah, just let me get this and then I'll be right with you.
Haven't you heard what's happened to Fuller?
Yes. But I don't want to talk about it.
Why not? You hated him. Maybe your life will be a bit easier now without him around anymore.
How can you say that? He's been murdered. You're making it look like I wanted that to happen to him.
Did you then?
No!
After everything he did to you?
What do you know about that?
Oh, a little.
Nothing. You don't know a thing. And if there is anything, you save it for yourself.
Or what? The same thing that happened to Fuller will happen to me?
Get out.
Psst. Mrs. Biber.
Yes, what can I get you?
A girl I know is being suspected of having killed Fuller.
I'm sorry about that.
Yes, she was lured into a trap. She has no motive. She also wasn't being blackmailed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Was Fuller blackmailing anyone else? Did anyone else have a motive apart from you?
Oh, you got nerve. I wasn't being blackmailed. Listen, I'm sorry about what happened to your friend. But if she's not guilty, then she won't be held for long, now will she? And I don't know anything about blackmail.
Huh. So you don't want to help me get an innocent girl out of jail?
I can't.
Mrs. Biber? So, are 15 Ben Franklins enough of a motive for murder?
What?
The $1,500 you had to pay Fuller.
Get out of here. You just can't. You don't.
Have any evidence? Could be I do. It's about time the truth got shook out.
I didn't murder Fuller.
Where were you when it happened?
So now you're a cop.
Would you prefer it if I go to the cops on this?
I was at home
Alone?
with my husband.
I believe you. That shiner you have there says it all. Dr. Newhouse from the hospital. Oh, excuse me. The health center. Excuse me, Dr. Newhouse.
Hello, yes?
Do you know how my mother is? Or should I ask someone in the hospital?
I've already seen your mother today, Darren, no change, and I think we ought to take that as a good sign.
Are there good medical reasons for thinking that? Or is that just wishful thinking?
Optimism never hurts.
So it's just wishful thinking then.
Darren.
Thanks, Doc. Have you ever seen this guy? He was in the hospital yesterday.
In the hospital? I don't think I saw him. Why didn't you ask the nursing sister?
He was here in the diner, too.
That's right. I think he was talking to Mrs. Biber.
Did you notice anything else?
Afraid not.
So how was old Fuller killed then?
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you anything. They're still investigating.
What? You think I'd tell the press? I did used to work for him, and I'd like to know what happened.
Well, okay then. He was stabbed.
And more exactly?
He was stabbed nearly a dozen times. Not a nice sight.
Did he bleed to death?
Not necessarily. Could have been shock. Could well have been that some vital organs were injured.
Huh. So looks like Fuller had a pretty free choice of how he checked out. Somebody wanted to cover all the bases for him.
Darren, you really shouldn't speak of the dead like that.
I'm not interested in the dead. I'm interested in the murderer. As I understand it, there's also a department in the health center for the less mobile. A morgue.
Yes, that's right. This is a small town. We doctors at the health center are also responsible for checking corpses.
So don't you have to have special training for that?
If there's even just the slightest sign of a crime, then we get an experienced pathologist over from Portland.
So that means that Fuller still hasn't been looked at.
Right now, we're waiting for the pathologist. We've only prepared him.
Do the nurses sometimes stick their fingers in the deceased's personal effects?
Outrageous! Of course not. These things are properly stored away in the morgue, as they should be.
Thank you. So, are the cops in Biddeford any good?
How do you mean that?
Do you trust them to find the killer?
I'm sure they'll do their best.
Oh, right.
We've never had a case like this before.
Oh, so you don't reckon it's such a bad thing if they've got the wrong person, since they still have to practice?
I'm sure that the captain will solve the case.
Well, that's it for now, I guess.
If you've got any more things you want to ask, just come and find me.